For dinner today, I am going to be making some Puerto Rican style white rice and black beans with some Puerto Rican style air fryer chicken. It is so good. All right, so first I'm going to begin by adding some oil at the bottom of my pot, just a little bit, enough to saute our ham. So I'm going to be using avocado oil. I'm going to turn my burner up to about a medium high. I'm going to let this heat up just for a minute because I'm going to be sauteing my ham and all my goodies in it. All right, now that my oil is a little bit warm, I'm going to go ahead and add about half a cup of ham. But you can add as much ham as you like. To this, I'm going to be adding about 2 tablespoons of sofrito. Yummy flavor. Let that saute for a little bit. You know what? To this, I'm also going to add 1 nice heaping teaspoon of garlic, just to saute in there. I really love the flavor of garlic, so I want that to really release on the beans. This has been sauteing for about 3 to 4 minutes. To this, I'm going to add half a can, so 4 ounces of tomato sauce. And about half a teaspoon of adobo. Really, you can add as much as you want. That's just how much I'm starting off with. And to this, I am going to add a little bit of this annatto, just a sprinkling. And simply going to let it saute there for about 2 minutes. Now that this has been sauteing for about 2 minutes, it's time to come in and add the can of beans. I'm going to just be using these Great Value brand. I added my 1 can of beans, and then I just simply use the can and refill it with water and use 1 can of water from there. I always feel like that's the right water ratio. And to this, I'm going to be adding 1 chopped regular potato. But my favorite thing to use with this is actually butternut squash or calabaza. Whatever you have available is really yummy. So I'm simply going to mix it all. Give everything a tiny little taste just to see. It's gonna need, I'm gonna say, a little bit more adobo, or if you want to add salt, you can add salt too. I'm gonna put another half a teaspoon of adobo, so that equivalates to 1 teaspoon of adobo. And I think that's gonna suffice. Now I'm going to let this sit here at medium high, and once it starts to simmer, I'm gonna turn it down to a medium and let it simmer there for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to start working on my white rice. So for my rice, I am using the short grain Rico rice, and I like to use 1 cup of water to 1 cup of rice. So I have a total of 4 cups of rice here, 4 cups of water. I put some oil, is about, I would say, a good tablespoon. I'm gonna be using the Himalayan sea salt. And I'm starting off, I have 1 teaspoon of salt in there. I'm gonna add another one. I feel like it needs more. I'm gonna just mix it all together. And at this point, look over here, see how my beans are bubbling? I'm gonna let them, I'm gonna put it down to medium. And I'm just gonna let them simmer there for a good 15 minutes. Now I almost forgot to add my bay leaves. To this, I'm just gonna add 1 of these little bay leaves in there, just because I'm loving using bay leaves on everything lately. I'm gonna give this a little taste and see if that's enough, but you can always taste it and see if is the salt enough like you like it. Okay, so to me that's good. You can add more if you'd like, but the 2 teaspoons was perfectly fine for my rice here. Now for this, I have my burner up on a high, and I'm going to just let this simmer and boil down. And once it's all boiled down, I'll put it on low, cover it, and let it cook on low for 15 minutes. So I'll show you what that looks like when the time comes. Okay, so once my rice looks like this, I'm gonna give everything a nice mixing. See how it's mostly, the water's mostly evaporated? That's what we want. Mix the back from the front. Like this. And then I'm simply going to go ahead and put the lid on it and turn the burner down all the way to low, and I'm gonna let it cook in there for 15 minutes. I already tested it out on the stove, and 15 minutes works out perfect. It's been about 15 minutes, and look just how yummy these things are looking. So good. You see how they kind of simmer down a little bit? And thicken. Look at the sauce. Oh, so delicious. All right, I'm gonna give everything a final mixing. At this point, you can go ahead and give everything a taste, just to make sure it's to your liking. I know already it's at my liking. And then I'm going to put the lid over it and turn the burner down to a low. And I'm simply going to let them simmer there for another 10 to 15 minutes. Or you can move it to the back burner and let this simmer there on low for as long as you want. Now for chicken today, I'm going to be using these drumsticks that I had bought in this week. I used some of it to do the chicken soup, and now I'm going to use the rest for this. Okay, so I have a total of 8 drumsticks because everybody loves this chicken. It tastes just like if you fried it, but so much better, more healthier for you. So everybody loves this, and 1 drumstick of chicken for everybody is just never enough. So I make 8 pieces. I'm going to do my little slits on my drumsticks like I typically do, like this. I cannot tell you when was the last time I actually fried chicken in oil, because I'm just loving to do it on the air fryer. It is just so much easier, less use of oil. I just put it there and just kind of let it be, and it's easier to clean up too. Like, I don't have an oily mess to clean up after I'm done, which is awesome. I don't even have to put oil in this thing. I just season it and put it in the air fryer. I'm simply doing this. I'm gonna put some adobo everywhere, give it a good seasoning. I usually love using gloves when I'm working with my meat. It's just easier cleanup for me, but don't have any at hand, so I'm just doing it with my hands and then washing them off. Some oregano. Now, depending the amount that you are using is the amount you're gonna put on. I feel like this is, I kind of eyeball it all based on the amount that I'm using, just as long as everything is coated. And then some of this ground annatto. I'm just going to put it on top just for color. Now, I'm going to link this down below in case you're interested in getting it. If you're not using sazon, this is a good thing to use for color. You're trying to avoid the MSG and all that stuff. Now these little guys are ready to go into the air fryer. For our chicken, I'm going to be placing them in here. I have this awesome air fryer. I love it because I can use both containers and I can match cook it. So I'm going to be putting 4 chicken drumsticks here and 4 chicken drumsticks here. Now that that is done, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to match cook, and I am going to air fry this for 390 degrees for the, I think it's 20 minutes. That is come set up to, yeah, 20 minutes. I'll come check it out, give it another turn, and then depending on what I see, I will let it cook either for an additional 15 minutes or the full 20. Now it's your turn to give this deliciousness a try. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out the playlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!